I think there should be more education for people that want to get into this industry about what it's actually about, because I think people see
Stay tuned.
nice cars, they see some successful guys flaunting things around. I'll be honest with you, the majority of realtors I know that have something like a Ferrari, they're not making their money just from real estate. Today, slacking off. That's it. That's all we got. Stay tuned if you love that.
We're live.
We're live. And yeah, live.
We're back.
That's live's kind of a crazy word right now.
Is it?
All different kinds of living
in the fresh. Yeah.
Live. Yeah. Especially it's kind of heavy topic right off the bat, but that Texas news, man, that shook me.
Nothing good, eh?
Completely shook me. Like, I'll be honest with you, I've been eyeing Texas for a while about wanting to do some stuff down there, and then I saw that. I was just like, not that it's a reflection of everyone down there, but
no.
What is going on? Like, I don't know.
Thoughts and prayers go out to everybody out there that's affected by that, because that's a terrible tragedy.
It's awful. I don't even like. I don't know. I was really shook up. I drop my kids off at school every day with just the assumption. It's not even like there's not even an assumption. Like it's like breathing air. I know my kids are going to be there when I show up after school to pick them up. Right? Like it's not even a conscious thing that I think about being thankful for, you know what I mean? Like it's just like I expect it to happen. Like the next time I take a breath of air, like I know they're going to be there, and just I can't even imagine what people are going through down there. And I don't know what the answer. I know everyone right away jumps on gun control, but I don't know, mental health control. Like how has society got people that feel like that's their only decision? Like guns are not, like, I'm not going to debate guns are good, guns are bad. I'm not getting on that topic, because that's a decision that, I don't know, that debate's going to go on forever. There's reasons to have them. There's reasons not to. There's at the end of the day, person committed this, person with obvious serious mental health problems, and I wish people would talk more about that.
That
more
person was not loved.
It's always political right away with guns are good or guns are bad, right? But nobody stands up and goes, how is there a person in a situation where they felt that dire, and that this was an option, and nobody saw it coming? Like I don't know, not that there has to be always signs, but like for someone to pull something off like this, like they had to have been in a dark place for a long time. And I guess I just wish that, mental health was more, nobody ever stands up after one of these and says, hey, we should have, instead of reducing access to guns or whatever, how about we increase access to mental health support? Right? Because, like, I don't know, my youngest daughter was really having trouble with anxiety. Luckily, I'm in a position where I'm able to get her the help she needs. Right? But what if you're on the fringe here, and like you're choosing between eating and getting help? I don't know, that's the part I wish that people talked more about, was getting. I'm sure there's not an answer, but I mean, they can do some amazing things with. I've seen the change in my daughter. We're going once a week. So like, whether it's medications or it's therapies or whatever it is, I wish that healthcare was a bit more of a topic on this, but thoughts and prayers for the families. I don't even know what to say. It
Oh man, it's brutal. It's a sad situation. It's a sad day, and it's the shitty thing is it's not the first time it's happened. So I
it's not
mean,
going to be the last either.
no, it's not, and
Like every time you get
that's
people stand up and they say thoughts and prayers, that seems to be the
yeah.
political answer is,
Mm-hmm.
thoughts and prayers, and then time goes by and nothing changes and it just becomes a statistic.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
What is that? What is that? I can't remember. I think it was Lenin, that one about when one person dies, it's a tragedy, but when thousands, it's a statistic. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's almost like once it got past two, my brain right away was like, "Oh, it's your brain just makes it a statistic because you can't even comprehend 19 little lives." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I
Like
know.
one or two, your brain's like, "Oh my god!" Like, and you see that like when one kid gets kidnapped and it's like a headline story forever, and people are, justice for, but then when it gets to numbers like this, your brain, like, it's almost like I don't know a lot about the brain. I love listening to books about it, but I feel like our brains almost have like a safety mechanism of
Mm.
like shutting down thinking about stuff like this. When it gets to those kind of numbers, our brains are like, whoa, this is going to damage you critically, so we're just going to shut down. Oh, it's a statistic, and
Yeah, no
you're
doubt.
gonna view it as bad, but you can't actually view it as bad as you want it to, because it's going to damage you as a human. And that's what I feel like happens when you hear the numbers like this. And it's sad, but I'm thinking
Yeah,
it's kind of a coping mechanism for all of us to get up and do the things we do the next day.
for sure. No,
So
I agree, man. It's there's nothing that you can say to change anything or do anything. But yeah, I mean, mental health, we all struggle with it daily. I mean, and we probably don't talk about it nearly as much, even though we've come leaps and bounds in accepting mental health and understanding it a lot better. We've come quite a ways, but the work is never over, guys. Like, it's just never done. Like, you have to keep doubling down on these types
well,
of
I mean,
situations.
we've talked a little bit on. I mean, you don't talk too deep into some of the stuff you witnessed in your past job, but like, I don't know, I venture a guess, like, how many people that you encountered there had like mental health issues and weren't just like,
Oh, everyone had some sort of addiction or some sort of mental health issue or something for sure. Like, no matter what it is, it's something. Others are way better at hiding it than some, but um, or using it to their advantage to manipulate people. But yeah, it's for sure, man. It's huge, 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 huge. But
yeah. And
that's the
that,
thing.
you know um with my daughter's anxiety, we were learning, like, I of course wanted to, like, well, let's get her in there and let's cure her, let's get rid of it, right? And we very quickly
Mm-hmm.
were told, like, no, it's never something that's gone. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
we need anxiety, it stops us from doing really stupid things.
For sure.
Right, like, so it was like, you can't eliminate it, what you need to do is learn how to manage it and make it so it you know doesn't affect your life too negatively. Because I mean, you do need these things, like I was saying about our brain has coping mechanisms that shut down when things are too awful. um Same thing with anxiety. Like, our brains need that, or we do
Mm-hmm.
really stupid things, right?
I
And
agree.
I think about that, like,
Anxiety and fear is a good thing.
yeah, you need some, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to an agent the other day about, when I first started, I kept a black book every time I missed out on a deal,
Oh, it went
because
into the black
of
book.
because, like, say I didn't follow up
Mm.
or I didn't do something, And then I said I would call the lead, and they were like, "Oh, we actually just bought with Johnny over at that place, a brokerage. Oh, yeah, we love our new house. Thanks so much for your help." And I'd be like, and I'd write down like how much money I lost
Shit.
out on, and
Get it tattooed on your ass so it hurts every time you sit down.
but the fear. I've told people this before. Like, I'm more fear motivated to do things than I am excitement to get things motivated. And I think a
Me
lot of
too.
people are that way. Like
Me too.
like the fear, we're talking about fear. Like, I was more afraid of writing down another number in that book and missing out on goals I had for me and my family than I was afraid of calling a lead that told me to piss off.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And so like it really helped me. I had some, I had some good help that recommended I do that. And it, I think having someone that knows you and knows what's, your motivators are can help quite a bit. And, I really wish for more people to find that help they need in their careers, in their life, find those mentors that can, because I'm not a big believer that there's just super bad people out there. I'm a little more. I think there's definitely some genetic things that roll into your dispositions and things, but I think so much of it is our environment, and
100%.
people are not given given that like that growth mindset when they're at the ages that they could use it. Like, that's not something they tell you in school.
No, they don't tell you to believe. They tell you to get a good job. Don't chase your dreams.
Right? Like, yeah, there's
Don't do
none of
that
this.
stuff.
Like, and you're taught a lot of times from your family, like, if there's $10 gets thrown on the table and it's a stranger over there, you better grab all 10. Right? Like, because
Yeah.
dog eat dog. Like, I remember growing up, like, what the kind of advice I had was like, don't trust people, they're gonna screw you over. Like, look out for you and your family, like, that's all that matters. And like, it wasn't until much later in life that I was introduced to this like growth mindset of that, like, if you have $10 there, it's not like 10 less dollars for me. And it's not just money. Like, that goes for like experiences, for love, for so many different things.
For sure.
Like, it's not just a money thing, but like I wish people were introduced to that stuff, because I feel like as a society, like, we do have the ability to have people have fulfilling jobs that they love, and can be working towards this greater good overall, and everyone can be contributing to it. And not that would have stopped what happened in Texas,
No.
but I think that being introduced to these ideas when you're at that moldable age can shape some people. And I think there's people that grow up with just, they're told that they're never going to be anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then
Those people are
it's
sent
not very
here.
hard. Like, if you're told that, and then you go out into the world, it's very easy to find things that'll validate that for you everywhere. Right. If that's same goes true, if you're told that the world is what you make of it, and you can do so many things, like, people are going to go out and be able to find that and things. Like, I look at sports with my kids, like my oldest daughter, like, she's got so much confidence, which
Oh, yeah. Eh? Flying around out
that's
there.
what people need. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's like,
You love that. You
everything
love
she
to see
picks
it.
up, she right away assumes she can be good at it,
You
because
love to
she's
see
never
it.
been told. She's never been told different,
Yeah. You
right?
gotta
Like,
love
she's
it.
always been told,
That's
like,
a testament to you and your wife too, though. Like, you guys, you're breeding winners over there.
well, I just think kids need, like, I think there's
Yeah.
enough hard things out there, and not that you don't need to give your kid reality checks, like, but do we? Like, I've been following a lot of stuff with Elon Musk recently, and like, he grew up with a pretty hard life, actually.
Oh,
and he
oh,
left
big
home at
time.
like what 17, and like, and it wasn't until he was away from home that I think he's really started to mold, like, and a lot of it, like one of his first companies, he had a really good investor there that, but they really wanted him to like tone down who he was, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think we're told that so much that, but
Yeah. Don't
I
show
don't know why.
emotion.
Yeah, don't, oh, you're too passionate about this stuff, or you're
Mm-hmm.
like, like you gotta change you gotta get this kind of job because it's gonna, you're gonna be fulfilled by it. And it's like, I
And
don't
that's the
know, like,
comfy way to go too, right?
I think we're seeing
That's
nowadays, like, if you love it, there's ways to find that you can make a living at anything now,
for
right?
sure.
Like who would have thought that? I mean, you could make a living right now buying and selling like hockey cards and baseball
No,
cards, and
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because if you're passionate about it and you build the systems, I mean, there's so many different things that you can make money at, or teaching courses on how to become be into anime, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many different
Mm-hmm.
ways that when I was a kid, it was like, hey, well, you got to go to university and get this certain job, or, well, you maybe you should just get a union job, and at least you'll have a pension, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
For
that's what I
sure.
grew up with, and I think a lot of people are just told to, like, just,
Let me
this is the
ask you a
way. This is, you're not going to be happy, but at least it's
yeah.
comfortable and you'll be fine. And
Let me ask you a question about getting into real estate. Did you think, like, when you first got into real estate, like it would be way more than just selling houses? Like, because it really is. Like when I first got into real estate, like for example, I was like, oh yeah, no, all you had to do is just sell some houses and that's it, and you're good to go. Well, it's way more than that. It's way more than that.
I didn't I didn't really think that hard about it. Like,
Yeah,
I
me neither.
I just didn't. Yeah, like, I knew that my education was like, I had some education beyond high school. Um, I knew that I was hardworking. I knew that, um, that I was passionate about what I did, and, whatever I was working on, I would dive into full. I always did quite well at whatever I did, whether it was construction or whatever I was working on. Like, I always seemed to kind of rise up pretty quickly, right? Because I knew I was
For sure.
work hard, and like, I was dedicated, and I was always seeking more knowledge. Whether it was like, I remember one of my first jobs that, like, I used to work in television. I used to work for like CBC, CTV, things like that, and then those jobs were kind of drying up, and I just wasn't fulfilled with it. And so I started doing construction, to kind of, I don't know, just, I wanted to change, right? And like, I right away started taking courses on stuff too, even while, like, I've always had that thirst to learn. And so, like, to get back to your question, I didn't think about it. I just
Yeah,
dove into it,
yeah.
and I was always like, I can figure it out on the go. I'm just gonna learn as much as I can and work hard, and I'll be fine.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I learned a lot very quickly, that it wasn't just, you know selling a house onto the next, sell a house onto the next.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
layers. Well, and there could, I mean, some people might have that. Maybe they've found a way that that's what they do, and they've kind of got it. I never have. I find there's layers to this game,
hmm.
and, you know
The
it's
learning curve
also,
for me was pretty steep.
yeah.
Like getting into it, I was just kind of like, oh yeah, this is easy, da da da. But like you said, as soon as you start unpacking the different layers and start, okay, oh, I gotta put the time away to do taxes too. Oh, I gotta do that. Like it's just everything, right? All so it's fun though. I love it. I do. I truthfully love it day in and day out. Especially since I just helped my brother purchase his first house. So he's super happy about that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Like, it's our brains are hardwired to appreciate ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's been that way for a long time, and that's one thing I do like. Like I like some of the psychological stuff that comes with home ownership, and the way that you can see how people live differently with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it could be that, price, maybe it's not making them independently wealthy by owning the house. Like I know there's been comparisons of like rent versus owning, and what,
Right.
there's an emotional part of that you're in ownership, and the pride and things
For
that come with
sure.
it, that there's no dollar value you can put on that. And our brains, we value ownership, and that's been a long time. And I mean, you can see the way. I'm listening to a really cool book right now, actually. It's called The Weirdest People in the World,
Oh, oh, okay.
and it's like 20 hours long. I don't know why. Who makes these audiobooks that are 20 hours long? I don't know. But
That's a
it
long
it
one.
talks about how language uh, really shaped Western society, and how there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of weird things compared to other places, and just
Right.
how it rose, and just how almost every culture really values ownership,
Mm-hmm.
especially coming out of the Western kind of mindset
For
is,
sure.
we just value ownership. And I think that's why you're seeing things like Bitcoin and NFTs. Like people value owning it. Like I don't know. Like at first I was trying to figure out NFTs because like a piece of digital art. I was like, well, I can see wanting to own digital art because I mean the way TVs are getting, like you can mount them anywhere, and it'll be, you can
Mm-hmm.
produce more color images and brighter than you can on a piece of paper, and something you can move, you know what I mean, around, and you can. But I didn't really understand it till like the ownership part of things started to make sense to me. That because I was like, well, what's the difference if I own this or if I take a screenshot of someone else's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's psychologically, because that's why people were going so crazy for NFTs when everyone was dropping stuff. It's the ownership part of it that people just, they want to have that, and a
For sure.
provable ownership, which I mean, I think that's why home ownership is so important
Mm-hmm.
in North America. I know in some places it's harder. Um, just proving that you own something is harder in some places than others.
For
Uh,
sure.
but it gives you like this feeling inside that I think it's hard to get from just taking a screenshot of someone else's, right?
It's funny because I just finished reading a book called The Psychology of Money. And they talk about that exact thing, what you were just talking about how, a lot of your decisions you make over the course of your life based around money are emotional, right? They're emotional decisions because you have, you tie some sort of emotion to it, whether, it reminds you of a childhood memory or whatever the case may be. Um, and yeah, they were just talking exactly of what you were just saying. So I think that's hilarious because it's so true. People just, I look at a lot of the purchases. When I make a purchase now, I try to like make it as if it's a business decision first. Like I look at this purchase. I'm like, okay, what's my time frame to make a decision on this? Do I have 10 minutes? Do I got 24 hours? Like, what am I doing here? And as soon as I realize that, then I take a step back and I'm trying to like, okay, analyze it now a little bit more and think about it. But there's still some purchases that, you just make, you make on your own. And like you said, even crypto, every one of those purchases were basically based off emotion because I wanted that coin or I wanted to be in the game somehow, whether I overpaid for it at that time or not. Right now it's looking like I did, but that's because everything is down right now. I mean, everything is down. So, but
FOMO got you. That's what
yeah,
happens with
right.
me whenever I see other people making money at it, and I'm like, well, I want in, I want to do this, and so you
I'm
kind
I'm
of
a holder
emotional.
though. I'm in for the long haul. I'm gonna hold on to those things for forever. I don't care if they go to zero.
Yeah, and it's hard to say. Like, I think some of this is helping everyone learn as well, and not that, like, if you're investing in crypto or NFTs or whatever it is, like there's definitely some learning that's going on, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
hard. Like, you can't really get. There are people giving advice out there on this stuff, and I think there's some smart people that you can follow and learn from. But a lot of it's going to be done trial and error, and
yeah.
but think about how new this is compared. Like, we use the idea of
It's
money.
decentralized.
Yeah, well, that's the other part that's I think that's so game changing for it. And that's what got me excited about it, was that
Mm-hmm.
it has the ability in some of these very corrupt places to put a stop to that corruption, in my mind.
For sure.
Because before, if they controlled the currency, like, they controlled the population,
Mm-hmm.
right? Uh, Now some places, like, I think there's the opportunity, as they learn and grow with it, that they're going to be able to put their money in something else. And if that money's not going, if that money's leaving that country, I mean, it's gonna affect them huge. I'm curious what's gone on in Russia with the war, if they've seen a big draw of capital coming out of there, or what's happening. Because if I don't
McDonald's
know,
left.
yeah, McDonald's left, but, like, I mean, the people that have money there, like, I don't know, like, would you keep it in Russian money and assets, or would you be trying to get your hands on everything else? Because, I mean, when this is over and sanctions come in, and they have to start printing more money, like, I mean,
Mm.
that's really what happened. That's you look at Germany, right? I mean, that's why the second one kind of happened, was they bankrupted themselves and printed too much money, and it was worth nothing, and then this crazy nationalism kind of was born out of it.
And they pumped it
Now,
all that money into the war.
maybe those people wouldn't have kept their money in those kind of funds, and I don't know.
Mm.
Maybe it has some. I think it has some ability to change history for sure.
Global politics right now is quite interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are following them with a microscope, just based off of everything that's going on right now. Um, but yeah, I can't keep up. I just can't
I
keep
don't
up
I
to it.
don't
It's
try.
so
Like,
much.
I get little bits of news here and there. I
Yeah.
Not that not that I don't want to be educated. It's just that I find so much of it is just not the truth,
I know.
and I'd rather reserve judgment for later when all the facts are available. You look at this Johnny Depp trial, right? I mean, if you reserved judgment 2 years ago,
You're an
we all would have
asshole.
had we'd all had a different thought. And now that we're seeing, more of the truth come out, there's a lot more of us going like, oh,
The
wow, okay.
truth will set you free, my
Problem
friend.
is, problem is it doesn't. Damage is done.
Oh,
That's what's nuts.
exactly.
That's what's nuts nowadays, is that the damage is done. Like,
Yeah.
there's no more Pirates of the Caribbean with, there's so many things that, like, you think about as an actor that you've given your life to for
Hmm.
roles, and then it's just like, oh, we heard this about you. We don't have facts yet. We don't want to look bad. We don't want it to hurt our sales. So
Yeah.
we're pulling the
We're
plug on
not
you,
picking
and we're
sides,
distancing. We're
but
not picking sides, but
we're not
we're
just
not
gonna
going to
renew
back
your
you,
contract. Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Like,
I
I don't know.
know.
Think about our in what we do. Like, I mean, we've got governing bodies that really don't. They're there.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're not there to protect us. I know that.
No.
Like,
No,
right?
no.
From the public can come out and do whatever they want to us, but if someone feels they've got a complaint against us, they'll just jump right in, and it's kind of, you have to prove that you're innocent on it. It's not the other way around. And Uh, I think a
I'd
lot of
like to
people
see
jump.
that. I'd like to see that change where, I feel like, especially in where we're from, there's a lot of new agents that are operating as a real estate agent or a realtor right now. So I feel like I understand there's a need for, a heavy hand, law and order type of approach, but there's got to be some sort of educational piece to it too. Like they just can't be slapping you with fines
Yeah, but how are they going to
and
pay
you're
for
not.
that beautiful building, man?
Yeah, I know, but like there has to be some sort of education to it too. Like it's like beating a puppy. You keep beating a puppy over and over and over. The puppy's not going to know what you're beating it for. You give it a little love and a little treats and show it a different way and work with it. Maybe you're going to see a different outcome. But
The Apex Agent
I don't know.
podcast does not endorse beating puppies.
No,
We just need
no.
a little disclaimer there, Steve.
Yeah, if I see you beat a puppy in front of me, I'll beat you. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Anyways, I could talk about
Yeah, I know,
that
I get it.
for.
Like it's just not. But it's also, I think there should be more education for people that want to get into this industry about
Mhm.
what it's actually about. Because I think people see
Stay tuned.
nice cars, they see some successful guys flaunting things around. I'll be honest with you, the majority of realtors I know that have something like a Ferrari, they're not making their money just from real estate sales.
No, God, no. God,
Like
no.
they've all got some other things going on that they're doing. But I
Multiple
think that
streams of income.
that lures a lot of people in, and when you're lured into something just solely on making money, it's gonna make you're I think you're gonna be more likely to make those mistakes that do cause governing bodies to have to slap your wrist versus
Hmm.
coming into this industry because you have like a real passion for helping people, and you got to have that giver's mentality, not the taker, right?
Yeah.
I took that Simon Sinek course recently on presenting, and he talks so much about when you're presenting with a taker's mindset or a giver's mindset. And I think there's a lot of people that come into this industry with a taker mindset
For
and
sure.
not so much of a giver. Like the money's going to come if you bring true value and you come with a giving mindset, and you just do an amazing job. Like the money will take care of itself. My kids,
Hmm.
they got that game of life, right? So then they started asking me like, oh, what's a job where I can make the most amount of money? And I'm just like, stop right there, don't worry about it, find something you love doing,
Hmm.
find something that gets you excited, and don't worry, like the money will happen, but follow what you love doing, because that's more important. Like if you want to become a vet because saving animals is so important, and that's like you love that, then great. If you want to become a vet because it says that you make $182,000 per year, and that like that's gonna there's you're gonna be sad
Yeah.
every
Well,
day
yeah,
going to work.
exactly. Exactly.
And I think people should think about that. Like if you're thinking about getting into real estate and you're just thinking about the money, like the majority of realtors, what is the national average? Agent does what, 4 deals a year?
Yeah, 4 or 5 deals a year. That's it. There's so many
That's the
part-time agents though.
average. That's the average. And we know agents that sold 1,000. So how
Yeah.
many agents sold way, way less, that sold one or zero houses in a year? Like
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the true average amount of agents are selling less than that, because there's some
Hmm.
agents that are crushing huge numbers. So if you're just an average agent and you're going to sell 3 houses next year, like I'm sorry, but you're not driving a brand new Mercedes selling 3 houses,
No, no, no,
right?
no.
So you
God,
gotta
no.
you gotta think about what you're doing because you love it, not because you can just. Yes, there's great opportunity. I love real estate because yeah, it is like there's no cap on how much you can earn. It's like as big as you want to grow things, you can grow, right? And
Hmm.
there's a lot of jobs you can't do that, right? Like if you, although nowadays, like there's so many side hustles you can look at doing. Um, if you want to make extra money and you want to become independently wealthy, like it doesn't always have to be your 9 to 5,
Right.
right? Like there's side hustles nowadays that you guys can run and you can learn and you can crush it, and then eventually you can say goodbye to your 9 to 5. And real estate's one of them. You could do that, but I mean, there's so many opportunities for people to go and better themselves, but you have to do it with that mindset that you want to help people and that you've got
Mm-hmm.
something that's valuable to them and you want to provide value, right? Like I think we saw when NFTs first dropped, like when you got a bullish market and people are just trying to make money fast,
Oh yeah,
versus
you
there's
can
some guys
tell.
that are doing this stuff they got the long-term game in mind, and they're really going to revolutionize the way we consume entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It's
Yeah,
gonna be
some people made a
wild
lot of money, but quick money earned often turns into quick money lost.
for
There's a lot
sure.
of people that made a ton of money over the last few months. Couple, down the
Day
road from here,
traders.
it's going to be money. Money flows out just as quick as it flows in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that people have to, word of caution if you're thinking of getting into that kind of industry because you want to make money quick,
Whew.
it's probably going to exit out quick. Same with real estate, same with a lot of things. If you come in and you're like, I want to change the way things are happening, and I've got these ideas and I've got this to do, like, yeah, you know what? There's a good chance you're going to be able to shake things up, and there could be a bright future for you. But I hope people come in with that mindset of helping others and changing things. And um, word of caution with that is, like, don't expect it to be fast. Don't
No,
expect to get super rich super fast.
that's why
It can
I'm a
happen.
long term holder.
Don't limit yourself. Like, don't come in and be like, you know, I can't make money fast. I'm not saying you can't, but I think you have to
Mm-hmm.
come in with that long term game in mind, and
Oh yeah,
plan and build around that you're going to be doing this for a long time. And if
yeah.
you do that, I think whatever you come up with is going to be more in tune with what people want, and you're going to see better reaction to it. If you come in and you just draw a stupid fucking monkey and you sell it for $1 million, and
Bored
then
ape.
there's nothing behind it, like that money's it's very quickly. What did that
Yeah.
see that guy that bought the first tweet ever? He had an NFT of the first tweet from Jack Dorsey,
Really?
and he bought it for like, I want to.
Millions.
Don't quote me. Don't quote me. Millions,
Yeah,
millions
yeah,
of
yeah.
dollars,
Millions for
and
sure.
then he had to sell it for like thousands.
Pennies on the dollar because Jack Dorsey doesn't even own. He's not majority share owner anymore.
Yeah, and it's okay. Like, like what's the value of it, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, there's some stuff, yeah, some art and things, like if it's original, or I think there's some really cool ideas that are coming out with Web3 of just the different experiences we can have. And if you build a really cool experience for people and that's what you're trying to do, I think there's a good chance you can be successful at it. If you're just coming up with a super get rich quick scheme, you might get rich super fast. I feel like most of those people, if we check in on them, they're super broke not that long after. Quick money
those
disappears quick.
those Lamborghinis are leased.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly.
You want
Well,
to look at it. So,
that's
um,
that's been a good episode so far.
yeah, I know it's kind of, we said it was going to be all over the, who's, slack it off,
Yeah.
but you know, I love some of these impromptu talks because we all have stuff on our heart, right? And
For
for
sure.
me, it's almost like therapy
Yeah,
getting to
man.
do these episodes. And I hope people that are listening can find some therapy in it. Maybe there's something that resonated with you.
Hmm.
Something that just, you were like, man, like that's how I feel. Or maybe you feel completely opposite. And right now you're yelling at your radio.
Yeah.
Um, that's cool too, because you learned something. You learned you hate us, whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, yeah.
Do you know?
And you might come back and listen.
Do you know my car doesn't have a CD player?
No, CDs don't exist anymore.
They don't have. I didn't realize that. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. There's a band. My
They
BTS
don't
K-pop
exist.
has an album coming out soon, and you can. My wife's like, you can pre-order it, and I'm like, why am I going to order it? She's like, well, then he comes with this box set and the disc, and I'm like, I was looking at my car, and I'm like, I don't know where I would put this disc in. And then I was really looking. I was like, there's nowhere to put a disc in.
Not even in the back, eh? Like
So
in
then,
the back seat?
no.
Nothing.
So then I started thinking. I was like, do you remember like Discmans? Like
Of
now we're gonna
course.
have a Discman, and then we're gonna have an aux cable to plug it in to our radios. We're not gonna like
We've-
reverse it. Like we've gone so far past
yeah.
technologically that now we're having to go back to old technology in order to play it on the new technology. I just thought that was hilarious. I was just imagining some guy with a Discman plugged into his car because it can't play the disc, and he doesn't want to pay monthly for Spotify.
Yeah, no doubt.
But this was fun, Steve.
Okay.
Guys, make sure you guys are like and subscribe, and
And
stay tuned. We've got some great episodes. We've got some agent focused ones coming up here pretty soon. So if you are looking at getting into real estate, make sure you stay tuned for those ones. And we've got some more bullshit episodes like we had today. But let us know what you think. And
I just want to say before we get out, you guys, you have been downloading the episodes. We've seen the growth in the podcast over the last, however many episodes we've done it, and we're super appreciative of you guys. So thank you very much. Keep listening, keep tuning in. Follow us on Instagram, social media, and again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.